Dark in here. Maybe it would be good if I could see. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. If you haven't yet, say Shabbat Shalom to your neighbor. Yeah. Shabbat Shalom if you're watching at home. We're glad you're here too. After last week's Shabbat, when I talked all about the Northern Lights, then I went home and saw them. It was incredible. It was incredible. I just walked outside my backyard. It was amazing. It was pretty dark. It was dark enough to see them, and it was just one of those moments where I was like, the universe, it's bigger than me. I have really beautiful pictures that I'm happy to share with you, but I found it to be a really moving evening. So after all that talk about it, I'm glad I got a chance to see it. And the blessing for seeing something like that, like the blessing we said for the eclipse a few weeks ago, is the same. It's Maaseh Bereshit, blessed are you, God, who is the creator of everything, who makes the wonders. And it's cool I think it's interesting to apply a Jewish blessing to a moment where you may not otherwise think about it. So it was lovely and amazing, and I'm really glad I got to see them and hear all of your stories of seeing them from last week. It's very nice. We're going to celebrate Shabbat this evening with songs and prayers. If you're at home, I'm glad you're here with us. And we will begin with Ozi V'Zimrat Job, which you will find on page 6 in the middle there. Ozi V'Zimrat Yah Vayehi li Lishua. 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 Ozi V'Zimrat Yah Vayehi Lishua Ozi Vezimrat Yah Vayehi Lishua. We're going to light candles all together this evening. If you have candles at home, I invite you to light them. I know it's still early. Shabbat can come for us now, and that's fine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Good Shabbos, everybody. Shalom Aleichem. It's on page 10. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzezchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lecha Dodi is on 14. We're going to continue welcoming the presence of Shabbat amongst us this evening. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela la la la. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmi anu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem ol tiferet v'litchila la 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 lecha dodi, likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekavela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki hi mekor haberacha, Merosh mikadam nasucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila la 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 lecha dodi, likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, Kiva orech kumiori, uri shir daberi. Kevod Adonai elechni la 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 lecha dodi, likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekavela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, Toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, boi chala. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene pene shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene pene shabbat nekabela. We're gonna try page at the top of page 16, Tov Lehodot. This is one that I haven't done with you all before in this version of it, but I'm sure there is a version floating somewhere that you all have done. I love that I get to still offer like, oh, here's a tune you may not have heard before. It's good that not all my material has run dry, you know what I mean? And if this is the one that we do here, then great, this is the one that we do here. Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat tov lehodot ladonai ulizamer l'shimcha elyon ulizamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat tov lehodot ladonai ulizamer l'shimcha elyon ulizamer l'shimcha elyon. Lehagid baboker chastecha ve'emunatcha v'leilot alei asor ve'alei navel alei higayon bechinor. Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat tov lehodot ladonai ulizamer l'shimcha elyon ulizamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat tov lehodot ladonai ulizamer l'shimcha elyon ulizamer l'shimcha elyon. Thanks for trying that one with me. Psalms are interesting because they give us the sense of how we're supposed to praise and pray during in different time periods, and they have these like days assigned to them and time periods assigned to them. So there's a daily psalm, and then there's a psalm that we do on Shabbat, and psalms that we do on Shabbat, and then there's psalms that we do for different holidays. So it's interesting to me that to have different parts and pieces of the same psalm bring us different tunes. So that's what we're looking at. I'm glad to do that with you. We're going to rise and join together for Baruch Hu, which you will find on the top of page 18. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. I invite you to take a seat. Ahavat Olam, the middle of page 20, is about God's love for us. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Ota Otanu limadata. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachfeinu, v'kumeinu nasiach bechukecha, v'nishmach v'divrei toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla, ve'ahavadcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim, baruch ata Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael. We're going to continue on to Shema, which is on page 22. Shema, I've been thinking about it a lot. I've done a couple of hospice visits in the last couple of weeks, and it is the thing that is one of the last words that we uttered, is one of the last things to leave our memories. Even people I notice with memory difficulties are able to recall that like ingrained message from an early age. And there's a really beautiful thing about even remembering the oneness of ourselves and the oneness of God and the oneness of our community, and holding those words that have sustained our ancestors for generations at even the hardest times, which is part of the reason we have this. So I really wanted to share that this evening because I'm feeling so, every time I do one of these visits, I did one today, it feels like it's a holy and very difficult moment, right? It's so hard to be with somebody in their last days and weeks, and it's also so holy to be able to bring this piece of ourselves, this piece that remains, this flame within us that stays until the very end. And it just reminded me why, in the prayer book that I grew up with, the Shema was called the watchword of our faith. And I don't know what a watchword is, but it's this idea that it's something that we can grasp onto, and it gives us the words even when we don't have them. So I'm going to invite you to connect in whatever way that is meaningful for you. So you may want to put your feet on the floor, you may want to straighten your spine, you may want to take a deep breath, or something else. You might want to close your eyes. In whatever way feels good for you to connect with the words, these holy and sacred words that we've been saying for generations. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha V'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha V'hayu hadvarim ha'ela asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'shartam ukmecha u'shartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'eineinecha Uchtabtam al mezuzo beitecha uvisharecha. Bottom of 24. Leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. So this week in Lunch and Learn, we talked a little bit about all the things in this prayer book that we've been shifting and how we're going to keep moving through it. And that page turn in the middle there is one of those ones. So I always try to say it so people can follow along. But if you don't catch it, you'll catch it eventually, or look for somebody to. Where are we? How did we get here? We're going to continue with Micha Mocha on page 25. Let's try the repeat after me one. We haven't done that one in a while. I'd like to try that. Micha Mocha Ba'elim Adonai Micha Mocha Nedar B'Kodesh Nora Tehilo Ose Fele Malchutecha Vanecha Bokeh Hayam Lifnei Moshe Miriam Zeili Anu ve'amru Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed. Let's go. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai dai da da da. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai dai da 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 da. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. We're going to continue with Hashkivenu. One of the things that the group brought up this week in Lunch and Learn is, of course, that there are about 8 versions of it on these, on these 2 pages, on 26 and 27, and we do approximately none of those. So if you're looking for the Hebrew, it's kind of at the top of the page, but not really. But we do the Guide My Steps at the bottom of 27. We really try to adhere to that. So we'll do the Hebrew part first, and then we'll go into the English. This prayer about Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. So rock me in your arms and guide my steps, and help me make this day a song of praise to you. So rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim. I invite you to rise and join me. I'm on page 51 for the Amidah. We recall all of our ancestors, and then God's power, and then our relationship to Shabbat. Adonai sefatai titzach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, v'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Page 52. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rab lehoshia, Mechakel chaim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melech, Melech meimit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh u'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahaluch hasela, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. I invite you to be seated. We're going to continue with Vishamru on page 55 at the bottom. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et hashavat, la'asot et hashavat ledorotam v'rit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et hashavat, la'asot et hashavat ledorotam v'rit olam. Ve'ni u'vein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashavat, la'asot et hashavat ledorotam v'rit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat, לעשות את השבת לזרעותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. I'm going to invite you now to take a few moments of silent prayer and meditation. You can use the words all the way through page 61 or the prayers of your heart. You can stand or sit, whatever feels good for you, and we'll join back together in a few moments. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, אמרי פי, והיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי. I knew Tessa could not resist the baby. If there's a baby in the room, you can find Tessa over by the baby. She was fine, and she was fine, and she was like, all right, I got to go over there. But it makes me so happy to have kids in this room. I love the sound of kids in a sanctuary because it means there are kids in a sanctuary, which is exactly what we want. So this week's Torah portion is Amor. Tomorrow morning we're going to have a really beautiful bat mitzvah of Macy Schaefer, who has worked really hard and has overcome a ton in order to lead what's going to be an incredible service tomorrow morning. We went over it today. She's, perfection, of course. It reminded me that we had a bar bat mitzvah last year that was Parshat Amor as well. And I have been racking my brain all afternoon because I obviously have records of it, but I haven't been in front of my computer or in front of the stack of Sidurim in my office to look. But this Torah portion talks all about how you're supposed to be this, you can't be somebody without a limb. You can't be somebody who's missing, who's got a weird rash. You can't be somebody with X, Y, and Z issues. When you make sacrifices to God, you have to be this, blemish-free human being. And this student, God, I will. By the time we all leave here, I will tell you. Talked last year about how ridiculous it is to expect people to be perfect. I think it was Han. It was Han. Yeah. I knew. I was like, who was that standing up here telling me it was okay not to be perfect? It was Hans Sommer. Was up here talking about how it is insane to expect anybody to be at that level of perfection, right? I mean, And the same standards are held true for the actual sacrifice itself, right? The sacrifice itself has to be a cow of a certain height and it has to be this old and it has to have no blemishes. And this idea of perfection before approaching God didn't really sit well with Han. And I just remember thinking, like, this is the perfect kid to teach us about this. Because perfection is so dangerous, the idea of needing to be perfect all the time. And I think especially today at social media, kids are seeing that constantly. When I talk with our teenagers, like the bombardment of that message of needing to be perfect all the time and is happening always. And I think we're getting it from society in general. I think women especially get that message, but everybody, I think, really gets that if you're not perfect, you're not doing it right. But life is messy. It just is. Life is messy. If you figured out the secret to perfection, will you let us know? But I think as we get older, we understand that we actually asking ourselves to be perfect is dangerous because we're putting ourselves in this position where we're constantly moving a goalpost. Oh, once I do this, it'll be perfect. Once I lose enough weight, once my hair is exactly the right color, once all the things at home are done and taken care of, then everything will be perfect. Whatever it is, that perfection. And then you're like, oh, but there's this one other thing. Let me just do that, right? And you see, for me, it's always like, oh, once I finish going through all my emails, then my day will be perfect. But the answer is I will never finish going through all my emails. Freedom from emails, that's my new cause. But I think there's this once I do X, Y, and Z thing, it will be perfect and I will be okay. And this message in the Torah portion about how you can't be missing a limb or an eye or you have to be exactly pure, exactly the right way in order to do this piece of Judaism doesn't sit well with me. Because I think the great thing about Judaism is the people. Like, Judaism is nothing without the community. And when you bring people together, we are a group of imperfect human beings. Because as it turns out, there isn't anything perfect. Perhaps the finite nature of being a human means that we're not perfect, right? If we were perfect, then we could live forever. And we can't. Or maybe if you found the secret to the fountain of youth, let us know. There's a lot of secrets floating around in the ether these days, with all the stars and things happening in the sky. So I'm fascinated by this idea in the Torah, especially because when we look at who our prophets are, when we look at who our examples are, Moses and Abraham, and from the outside it's like, oh, these are our ancestors and they were perfect. They were not, right? These are human beings doing human being stuff, right? Abraham had to pretend his wife was his sister so that they didn't get killed. That's not ideal. Right? And then his son did the same thing. Also not ideal. Moses had some kind of speech something where he wasn't really able to or willing to talk in front of people. All of these people who were called by God said, oh, no, thank you. They immediately rejected this. So I think there's this example in the Torah of not needing to be perfect to be in relationship with God and with one another. So this Shabbat, I'm thinking a lot about how this applies to how we observe Shabbat too, right? Because, if I don't do it perfectly, then I'm not going to do it. Anybody said that before? As I certainly have. Well, I don't turn off all my stuff and I don't whatever, so I'm not going to do it, maybe next week. But something is better than nothing, right? So here you are. I guess I'm kind of preaching to the choir because you're here doing a Shabbat thing. So you've already checked off the list, I think. But there is something to be said for not needing to do something perfectly to just try it. So maybe this week it's, your Shabbat observance is I'll take a nap tomorrow. Or maybe your Shabbat observance is calling somebody who you're in community with who you haven't heard from in a while, or perhaps your Shabbat observance is turning off your electronics this week and seeing how that feels. I don't know. It doesn't have to be perfect, just have to try. So, as much as I appreciate what they're going for here, which is the idea that we don't want to make a mess out of something that's like this plan, we have to observe it this way. I'm not sure that I agree that a person has to be perfect in order to be in relationship with God. In fact, I think that particular idea can be dangerous to us. So I invite you to take all of your imperfect selves to somewhere spiritual this weekend to find a way to connect with God. If you believe that God is in people, in one another, in yourself, in everywhere, finding a way to connect with that piece of light and just showing up exactly as who you are, which is enough. Shabbat shalom, everybody. We're going to take a moment now to think about all of the people in our community who are in need of healing of body and of mind and of spirit. We are thinking this week of Joel Ben Moshe, Joyce Holbrook, Janice Book, Mickey Berg, Sharon Burns, Tom Rutan, Linda Tashbook, Cindy Silverman, Michael Tutt, Karen Sage, Carol Pastor. If there's anybody else you are thinking of this evening whose name you'd like to share with our community, who you are thinking of in need of healing, I invite you to either rise or raise your hand and go around the room. If you're at home, I invite you to say those names out loud or share them in the chat.
Siegel, Jim Lott, and Bob Line.
Thank you.
Leslie Rosenwasser, Susie and Noah's daughter and daughter-in-law.
Thank you.
Nancy, what was the name again? Judith McClellan.
We join together in our prayer for wholeness of healing on page 67. Misha be'erach avoteinu mekor habracha la'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe be'erach imotenu mekor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Before we continue with our service, I'm going to invite Bruce Sage forward to give his final set of announcements as a member of the Board of Trustees. Yeah, I know. Bruce has been serving on the board for a long time, and we are so grateful for all of his support and help and everything that he has done to help us. So have at it, pal. That's it. That's the one.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos, Bruce.
And we hope everybody and their families are well. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and our members, I'd like to extend a special welcome to all of our congregants and anyone who visited us today, this evening. We may be getting into summer, but there's a lot of things going on between now and summer. CST Bylaws Review, May 19 at 10 o'clock a.m. in person at CST, or May 22nd at 7:30 on Zoom. We need your help. Ferndale Pride is Saturday, June 1. Jan Laura Sell is heading up the volunteers for this event. Please go to shirtikva.org to register on the Genius Sign Up to Volunteer, or you can find the QR code link on the flyer in the lobby on the Facebook. Join us to celebrate Pride Shabbat Friday, June 7. Join the URJ for a night of learning on June 11, starting at 8 p.m., June 12th at 9 ET. Go to URJ or virtual TCOM to register for this event, or you can go to the website, shirtikva.org. The CST annual meeting. This is important. You come to the annual meeting, you find out what we have done over the last year and what they're planning for the coming year, and that makes it important. Save the date, Wednesday, June 19 at 7 p.m. in person, or you can watch it on Zoom if you cannot attend in person. Please register on our website, shirtikva.org. Camp Tikva is August 23rd to 25th this year. Registration is now open. Please go to our website to register. The membership committee is putting together a cookbook. Please see the Schreier or the CST website for more information. We got to get all the possible cooks together and make that book that wide. We are looking for people to sponsor Own Eggs. If you're interested in sponsoring an Own Egg, please contact Tessa Goldberg. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you. Bruce has served our community through a lot of years and a lot of different ups and downs, and we are very grateful for everything that he does to help us through the hard times and support us through the good times. So thank you, Bruce. I want to just be really clear about one thing. So Shavuot is coming up. The next holiday is June 11th. The small congregations across the country, we've done this now several years in a row, starting at the pandemic year, have all gotten together. Different rabbis teach at different times. It's a full night of study. Shavuot is, we're supposed to stay up all night. You eat a lot of dairy, study some things. If you can't eat dairy because you're me, then you don't do that. But it starts at 8 p.m. On June 11th, and I'm leading a service, and then you can learn. There's 3 different rabbis signed up for each time slot, 3 different communities across the country. It's all online. So any subject you could possibly think of, any studying you want to do, it's a really great opportunity, and it allows you to connect with other Jews from around the country, which I think is also very interesting and fun. So, and it goes all the way till 9 a.m. Some of my colleagues are very good at being awake in the middle of the night and teaching, and some of us need to be asleep. So you can check that out online as well. Right. So, Raven, you want to help me open the ark? Okay, cool. I'm going to invite everybody to rise as we open the ark for Aleinu. We are on page 74. Come on up. I know, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so you're going to put your hand right here, and you're going to pull back. Ready? Okay, and then we're going to stand like this, just like this. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tzed kedula le'yotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kachem, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Thanks. Will you allow me close too? Push, push, push. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Good job. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm going to invite you to be seated. I'm on page 77 in the middle. The Holy One appears when one thing ends and another thing begins. A baby is born, a child becomes an adult, an old person dies. One enters a room, one leaves a room, one sets out on a journey. Baruch atah bevoecha ubarech et atah b'tzeitecha. May you be blessed in your coming and in your going. God is there, in the spaces in between, reminding us that we have all along been destined to live forever, ascending through ever higher spirals of awareness and chambers of light, allowing us to remember what has gone before. Now we are able to hang on to the thread that binds one life awareness to the next, returning finally and again beings of pure light. We are in a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning for Barbara Saul, and we extend our condolences to her whole family. She was a friend and a member of Shir Tikva, and we miss her a lot. This week we will mark the Yartzites, the anniversary of the deaths of Arlene Shaw, our dear friend and dear friend of Cindy Silverman, Louis Silverberg, father of Alice Horning, Betty Fink, mother of Robert Fink, Ira Firestone, husband of Joan Firestone, Doris Ratiner, mother of Steve Ratiner, Helen Reifler, mother of Deb McElroy, Regina Gruca, mother of Margie Starr, David Saul, husband of Barbara Saul of blessed memory, Gloria Sternberg, mother of Joanne Levy, Sanford Ryder, father of Sharon Goodman, and Barbara Paley, sister of Carrie Levy. If there's anybody else you are remembering this evening whose name you'd like to share with our community, I invite you to do so as I look around the room. We rise and join together for the Mourner's Kaddish, the Kadisha Tome, which you will find on page 78. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, be'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei zachol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulamei olmaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal, shmei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, za'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace bring peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved here and everywhere. to which we say, Amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. I invite you to be seated. I think, Joan, did you put together little snackies for the pre-neg this evening? Thank you for doing that in memory of Ira. I appreciate it. So this evening we are going to conclude with something we don't often do. First of all, this is Bruce's solid request. He always requests Hatikva. And second of all, this week is Yom HaAtzmaut, which is Israeli Independence Day. Now, things are complicated, to say the very least. And we're all feeling a lot of big emotions around this particular conflict and this particular moment in time, being Jews, being in the world, understanding that the freedom for Palestinians and the freedom for Israelis is bound up to one another. Their liberation is intertwined, and therefore we can care for all people and still mourn our own. We can hold multiple truths at once. Hatikva is about this idea that we've always had this eye on Jerusalem, right? Hatikva literally means the hope. We are hoping to get back. Our people have been in exile for all these thousands of years, and we're hoping for this. But now, as I sing this, and as I heard it this week, I did a few online, because Yom HaZikaron, which is Memorial Day, and then Yom HaAtzmaut is Independence Day, follow each other in Israel. And I did a few different ceremonies online that were like joint ceremonies of like understanding the recognition of what this day means for others and what it means for us, and what it means to yearn for a place and also want it to be better than it is, right? So I just am couching all of those emotions in this moment, and I'm going to ask you to stand and join me for Hatikva. It's on page 84, if you'll join me. Bruce, you want to come lead this with me? You want to lead Hatikva with me? Yeah, you want to lead Hatikva with me? Yeah. Yeah.
What an honor.
Well, you're the one who always says, Rabbi, we got to do Hatikva. So
Thank you.
The Israeli flag's over here.
I'd be glad to do that.
Great. Okay, let's do it together, shall we?
Okay.
Kol ol v'alev penima, nefesh Yehudi homia, ufate mizrach kadima, ayin letzion Sophia, Olo Tikvaseinu, Hatikva bat shnot ha'payim, liyotam chofshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim, liyotam chofshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim.
What a highlight for me.
Well, thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for leading that with us. Let's say a little Kiddush and then we'll have a little bite. And Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Chaim, everybody. Is this a lily?
No, it's a custom.
This is Costco, not Lily. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Our prayer for all of us is that we don't have to be perfect to just be enough. We are enough as we are. Enjoy it. Good Shabbos, everyone.
If anybody wants a hostel, we have 4 hostels left.
We have little hostas left. Oh, next week, Rabbi Arnie is going to be here leading. So tell your friends and the Rabbi Arnie fan club. Everybody, Rabbi Arnie will be here. So do not worry. Bye-bye. All situated for tomorrow.